we talked about this last week. There was this whole wild escapade, this whole story, this crazy situation happened where the board kicked out Sam Altman for not being completely candid in their letter, and then said that even if OpenAI went under, that it would be aligned with OpenAI's mission that OpenAI went under. Now, I mentioned that last time in reading that. We can go back and listen to that if you want to, but I mentioned that wording was weird to me, that if OpenAI went under, they said that it would be aligned with OpenAI's mission. And OpenAI's mission is for safe and aligned AGI, right? And if you don't understand AI much or what AGI is, we'll talk about it. But AGI is artificial general intelligence, meaning that something that is basically sentient and conscious, right? We don't believe today that the AI that we have is considered AGI, right? It's AI, but general intelligence, meaning that it essentially has its own consciousness, that it can think for itself, that it's not just an input and output of A, B's or X, Y's or, whatever, the matrix essentially, right? So it's not binary coding that's deciding its next output. It actually can actively think and have conversations in a way where it has its own emotions and things like that, right? So that's what AGI is, and that's what terrifies people, is once we get to that point where it can start to detach itself from the infrastructure that we have, and it's sentient in and of itself, that it could escape the small black box that it's within, metaphorically, and take over the world and eliminate all of humanity. And maybe that's why the board was trying to kick out Sam Altman, because he wasn't candid about this program that is called QSTAR, which is a allegedly true AI potential path towards AGI that Sam Altman didn't discuss. So this article says, and let's give this a better introduction, is the fact that Sam Altman getting fired could have been the best thing for humanity, because if QSTAR, which is potentially the black secretive program within OpenAI that could lead to AGI, or maybe already is AGI, or a sentient life form of AI, very well could mean the end of humanity to very many people that project these things. Almost even, I think Sam Altman or even the Twitch CEO that was put into position said, yeah, it's a 50-50 shot if we reach AGI, whether or not it completely kills off all of humanity. And a lot of people think to agree with that. I think Elon Musk said the same thing. It's about 50-50, right? So when we're talking about Sam Altman not being candid with the board, and the board saying that if OpenAI goes under, it might be aligned with our mission to begin with. And then we find out about QSTAR, and Elon Musk, funnily enough, posted something that said QSTAR Anon, right? And then posted this article, not the one that we're looking at, but one about the similar topic. But this says from Forbes about that mysterious AI breakthrough known as QSTAR by OpenAI that allegedly attains true AI or is on the path towards artificial general intelligence. It says, in today's column, I'm going to walk you through a prominent AI mystery that has caused quite the stir, leading to an incessant buzz across much of social media and garnering outside headlines in the mass media. This is going to this is going to be quite a Sherlock Holmes adventure and a sleuth of detective exemplifying journey that I will be taking you on. Now let's close the loop here, in the fact that Sam Altman was reinstated an hour after my podcast at 2 a.m. as the CEO, and they fired the complete board after 757 people signed that letter saying they were going to move over to Microsoft to the 777 employees. They gave in, fired the entire board, and rehired Sam Altman. Wild story. Definitely going to be a Netflix documentary in like the next 2 years, if we make it that long after QSTAR. But this says, please put on your thinking cap and get yourself a soothing glass of wine. I wish I had one. The roots of the circumstance involving the recent organizational gyrations and notable business crises drama associated with the AI maker OpenAI, including the off and on again firing and rehiring of CEO Sam Altman, along with a plethora of related carry-ons. My focus will not particularly be on the or comings and goings of the parties involved. I instead seek to leverage those reported facts primarily as telltale clues associated with the AI mystery that some believe sits at the core of the organizational earthquake. We shall start with the vaunted goal of arriving at the topmost AI. The background of the AI mystery. Let's see how long this is. Holy shit, this is a long article. Wow, they did do some detective work. Oh, man. Wow. So go to Forbes yourself and read through some of this. Because, this is a extremely thorough write-up on this. The title of the article is the one I gave you earlier, which is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all this tonight with you, or this morning, depending on when you're listening to this, about that mysterious AI breakthrough. Look that up on Google with Forbes, and you'll find this article, and you can go through the full thing, but I'll see if I can skim it effectively with you. It says the background of the AI mystery. So here's the deal. Some suggest that OpenAI has landed upon a new approach to AI that either has attained true AI, which is nowadays said to be artificial general intelligence, or that demonstrably resides on, or at least shows the path towards AGI. As a fast backgrounder for you, today's AI is considered not yet the realm of being on par with human intelligence. The aspirational goal for much of the AI field is to arrive at something that fully exhibits human intelligence, which would broadly then be considered an AGI, or possibly going even further into superintelligence. Nobody has yet been able to find out and report specifically out on what this mysterious AI breakthrough consists of. The situation could be like one of those circumstances where the actual occurrence is a far cry from the rumors that have been reverberated in the media. Maybe the reality is something of a modest AI advancement was discovered, but that doesn't deserve the hoopla that was ensued. Right now, the rumor mill is filled with tall tales that this is the real deal and supposedly will open the door to reaching AGI. Time will tell. On the matter of whether the AI has already achieved AGI per se, let's noodle on the postulation. Let's not, because I already kind of clued you into that. It's not AGI already, at least not what we have access to. It has a hard enough time on some of the things. And that's probably from my use, and I use it basically daily in my career company. It seems to me like it's almost gotten worse over the last few months or so, but anyways, you see, this is the way that those ad ho hunches frequently go. You think that you've landed on the right trail, but you are actually once again back at the woods. Or you are on the correct trail, but at the top of the mountain is still miles upon miles in the distance, right? So basically it's just saying we don't know what AGI could even look like, right? We have no idea whether what we're looking at is just a highly advanced, Texas Instruments calculator that is just compiling all the information and spitting out based on connections of data and quick reading of information, or whether it's actually having some sort of development thought processes that are outside of normal variables. So now that you know the overarching context of the AI mystery, let's see if we want to read any of this here. Intentionally or inadvertently is getting this to the immediate doorstep of AGI. The idea is that it seems like it's pretty far away. Now that you know the overarching context of the AI mystery, we're ready to dive into the hints or clues so far that have been reported on the matter. Let's skip the caveats. I'm going to draw upon these relatively unsubstantiated foremost three clues. The name of the AI has been said to be supposedly QSTAR. The AI has supposedly been able to solve grade school level math problems quite well, and the AI has possibly leveraged an AI technique known as test time computations. Interesting, which would be interesting because ChatGPT, as we know it today, has far more capabilities than solving grade school level math problems, but it's not the idea that it's doing it in the way that a calculator would do it when it comes to AGI, right? It would be that it's thinking and learning those things on its own. You can find lots of rampant speculations out online that uses only the first of those above clues, namely the name, QSTAR. Some believe that the mystery can be unraveled on that one clue alone. They might not know about the other two above clues, or they might not believe that the other two clues are pertinent. The first clue is allegedly the name of the AI, so let's walk through these. It says it has been reported widely that the AI maker has allegedly opted to name the AI software as being referred to by the notation of a capital letter Q that is followed by an asterisk. The name or notation is this, QSTAR. Believe it or not, by this claim alone, you can get into a far-reaching abyss of speculation about what the AI is. I will gladly do so. I suppose it is somewhat akin to the words rosebud in the famous classic Citizen Kane. I won't spoil the movie for you. I have to emphasize that the entire film is about trying to make sense of the seemingly innocuous word of rosebud. If you have time to do so, I highly recommend watching the movie since it is considered one of the best films of all time. There isn't any AI in it, so realize you would be watching the movie for its incredible plot, splendid acting. Okay. Back to our mystery at hand. What can we divine from the QSTAR name? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. But my iPad froze. So again, give me 1 second. And this is like some horseshit because I have a very nice setup here. And for some reason, just this last like week or two, I've never run into this issue. And it's, just being finicky with me for some reason. All right. So let's do this. Let's do that. So yeah. So to me, it's like, this seems like the most likely reason that OpenAI went through everything that it did. It seems by far from the clues that I read, and I basically called it out just from the letter, right? You go back and listen to that episode. That's what I said is, why would they say that it would be aligned? Well, it would only be aligned if they believed that the way that Sam Altman was being non-candid to them would lead to unaligned AGI, right? Which means essentially they're concerned about the direction the company is going, because you have to understand too that the board of OpenAI is not a for-profit board. I believe that all of the board members like essentially don't have any stake in the game financially when it comes to OpenAI. And they're literally just there to like oversee the operations to make sure that it's aligned with its mission. So this says, what can we divine from the QSTAR name? Those of you that are fairly familiar with everyday mathematical equations are likely to realize the asterisk is typically said to represent a so-called star symbol. Thus, the seemingly Q asterisk name would be conventionally be pronounced aloud as Q star. Okay, who cares? Overall, the use of the specification of the letter Q innately coupled with the star representation does not notably denote anything already popularized. I'm saying that the Q star doesn't jump out as meaning this in particular. So let's see what it does say for us. It says the capital letter Q does have significance in the AI field. Furthermore, the use of an asterisk as a star does have significance in the mathematics and computer science arena. So then he's going to talk about those, which is that one of the most historically well-known uses of the asterisk is potentially similar to context was used in the mathematician Stephen Kleene when he defined something known as V star. You might cleverly observe that this notation consists of the capital letter V is followed by an asterisk. Wow, thank you so much. In his letter in the 1950s, he described that suppose you had a set of items that were named by the letter of V, and then you decided to make a different set that consists of various combinations associated with it that are in the set V. This now new set will, by definition, contain all the elements of set V. So basically saying that there's subsets of that V variation, right? That all housed within V, but with V star, it's saying that it could be VA, VAB, VABAAB, VA. So it's just saying that it could an unlimited amount of combinations within the subset of the primary V. So you are said to be maximizing the letter to the nth degree, right? Okay, makes sense. The use of the asterisks or stars in the case of a capital A. You're going to love the next bit of detective work. I brought you up to speed about okay, come on, dude, get to the point. As an aside, the classic paper was formulated A star and is entitled A Formal Basis for Heuristic Determination of Minimum Cost Paths. Okay. Imagine a set of cities with roads connecting certain parts of them. Suppose we desire a technique for discovering a sequence of cities on the shortest route from a specific start to a specific goal city. Our algorithm prescribes how to use special knowledge. The knowledge that the shortest route between any pair of cities cannot be less than the airline distance between them. in order to reduce the total number of cities that need to be considered. So I'll give you the TLDR of some of this. And when it's talking about QSTAR, what it's referencing is that the letter Q within AI or in coding is traditionally discussing the idea of reinforced learning, right? Reinforced learning being that, and traditionally when you're doing something like AI, it's reinforced learning through human feedback, or RLHF. And what that means is essentially you're giving it feedback every single time it gives an output. You're giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down, right? When you answer this, it's good. When you answer this, it's bad. And now it takes that information and it learns off of it, and it enforces better outputs, right? Just as if a dog is doing a trick, and you want to teach it to roll over, when it starts to make the movement, you give it a treat. And then the next time it goes a little bit further, you give it a treat. And eventually it's doing it on command to the word that you say before you made it do the rollover, through reinforced learning, right? Reinforced. Just give it a treat. Now the star being, which we got into a little bit, but the star being the idea that it's the infinite possibility behind what is that initial framework, right? In this case, the infinite, right? If you use something, let's use the dog example again, you just think of the word dog, then you put an asterisk behind it. In the world of coding, that would mean dog could now be dogmatic. It could be doggy. It could be doggy style. All right, couldn't leave that one alone. But the idea is that reinforced learning and the star being the exponential possibility behind that. And so what the idea is that the asterisk might suggest, is what this says, that this is the highest or most far out capability of Q learning, reinforced learning, that anybody has ever seen or envisioned. This would simply imply that the use of reinforcement learning as an AI approach, and that the model free and off policy can leap tall buildings and go faster than a speeding train, metaphorically, to be able to push AI closer to being AGI. If you place this into the context of generative AI, such as ChatGBT or OpenAI or GPT-4 of OpenAI, perhaps those generative AI apps could be much more fluent and seem to convey reasoning if they had this QSTAR included in them. Or GPT-5, essentially, right? And that could give a huge edge over the competition, is what it says. It says, take a moment to deliberate on the razor-sharp question. Should AI companies be required to disclose their AI breakthroughs? If they do so, would this inadvertently allow evil doers to use those breakthroughs for evil purposes? Is it fair for a company that spent its resources to devise AI breakthrough that cannot profit from it and must just hand it over to the public at large? Who should own and control AI breakthroughs that get us to the realm of AGI? And do we need new or additional AI-related laws that will serve to regulate and govern what is happening in AI? Now, in that theme, I'm on the boat that there should be some framework of oversight in governing bodies by individuals who actually know what they're talking about, because this is a highly scary, terrifying industry. If it goes to the nth degree, right? If AGI occurs and it's not aligned with humanity and it identifies humanity as a threat to, I don't know, the world, or, doesn't weigh our lives over that of the animals that we slaughter on a daily basis. Lots of reasons that it could think that we're bad, because, some of us are. Very interesting questions, but I do think that there should be some, we could dive deep into that, but I absolutely believe that. It says, now this talks about the solving of grade school level math. Don't want to get too far into that. That one's interesting to me because it just doesn't make sense why that would be such a huge deal. But I guess no direct calculations or formulas were involved. You might suggest that this is a monkey see, monkey do kind of answer by the generative AI. The similarity between the two math problems greatly overlapped in terms of its wording. Just to add the wording. Well, this guy uses the word noodle a lot. Let's see if he gives a overview, because I don't want to take up too much of your time here. And let's see. So it says, whenever they say this, the database converse will decry things that will go backwards in older and disdained ways of rules. Okay. Anyways, there's the idea. The QSTAR situation is one that could mean that Sam Altman was hiding this from the board. Sam Altman was putting the humanity into jeopardy, and all these 770 or 57 employees could now have been the reason that the Terminator happens and Arnold Schwarzenegger comes here from the future and we all potentially die. Or maybe not. And they were just dicks and didn't know what they were doing and let down all their investors. But I guess we'll never know. But that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it from the bottom of your heart. If you want to go read that article, I gave you the name of it earlier. It's from Forbes. Really interesting read. I'll read the whole thing at some point, but just don't want to. It's a very long article, so you're better off reading it on your own time than sitting here and me talk about it. But an interesting thing nonetheless. I absolutely am very as confident as I could be that I believe that that's what happened, is that Sam Altman was not being forthcoming. Now, what I think is an interesting theory about this that I noted is that Sam Altman was on Joe Rogan and on Lex Fridman not 2 weeks before this huge publicity happened. And what are the odds of that? A question to ponder. Probably not very high. So, do with that information what you will. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening from the bottom of my heart. You are awesome. I hope you have a wonderful day. And see you next time. Thank you.
Adams Archive.